Hi, welcome. My name is Olajide Olatunju, and I'm the author of the book, How to Resolve a Conflict, which is the book in front of you. This book guides um, the discussion that you are attending today. Uh, and it's the lecture series also titled How to Resolve a Conflict, and this is lecture 27. Uh, Once again, welcome, and I do hope that you will find the discussion useful for your work and for you personally. Discussion around um, amicable resolution of conflict, effective resolution of conflicts, as epitomized by mediation. Um, Yesterday we were explaining, we continued discussion around the types of agreements that you could have after a successful mediation. We're explaining what they were and why they may be useful uh, to know that those types of agreements exist. Today we hope to wrap up on agreements, mediated agreements. Um, so I'll read from the book and then we'll have a further discussion. I note here, I read, parties may agree to have both a consent judgment and a consent award, in addition to setting out the mediated agreement as a deed. And don't forget, I said there are different kinds of agreements, which could be different ways of expressing your agreement. You could enter it as a simple agreement, could be as a deed. You could get a consent award. You could also get a consent judgment. In addition, of course, to the fact that we want to always remember that a mediation agreement may also be oral, be verbal. You know, of course, may be more challenging to if it becomes hopefully not necessary to determine what was the content of the agreement. But we don't want to forget that traditionally mediation is and was and may continue for a long time to be verbal. Parties may not write the agreement down. I'm thinking particularly of parties who are not governments or corporations, because what has become so corporate now, sometimes we call it alternative dispute resolution. I mean, when we're talking about mediation in official settings, conciliation, and all that. But the truth is that whatever name we call them, the same principles that our ancestors, human ancestors, have applied for thousands and thousands of years successfully without writing anything down. So it could be verbal, but of course, if you're thinking of official mediation and settlements, it almost certainly will be documented. I'm not saying that some may not be verbal, but I guess the more complex they are, the more certain that the parties would write the agreements down. We just have at the back of our mind that there are settings, even in our big cities, there are settings, really social settings where mediation is applied every day, and the outcome may not be in a paper, but still an agreement. So this leads me to now discuss concerns about enforceability. People's concerns about enforceability. I read a little and then we'll discuss. Globally, people are concerned about the enforceability of a mediated agreement or settlement. Some people even erroneously think that it is not binding. My approach to this concern is a very simple one. Mediation has an inbuilt mechanism or automatic capacity for enforcing its own outcome. The reason for this is also very simple. Compared to imposed decisions such as arbitration, awards, and court judgments, parties in mediation are more likely to comply with their own decisions, which is what a mediated agreement is. So they tell themselves, well, I agreed to this, so I would do it. Of course, if it is documented, it's more easier for the person to implement it. Secondly, because the focus of mediation is a win-win resolution. It's a win-win resolution, meaning that both parties benefit from its outcome. Both parties each have a stake in the execution of the agreement. So when I have something to benefit from the agreement, why would I not implement it? Why would I not want to implement it? However, there's a condition for the inbuilt enforcement mechanism to work. The mediated agreement must indeed be parties' own decisions. It must also truly be a win-win resolution. The implication of all this is again very simple. It must be a good mediation, or better put, the mediator must be a good mediator, a master of his trade. All our efforts in this book are geared towards ensuring best practices, and of course in this lecture series, are geared towards ensuring best practice in the business of mediation. If I may reveal what I consider to be good mediators' trade secret, I would not hesitate to say that it is a humble spirit, a learning or learner spirit. Good mediators never graduate from learning, especially from learning from the current disputants before them. Mediators who have this learner spirit do not find it difficult to develop empathic ears. Now, I just touched my ear, but as we go on, I will explain that it's more than this piece of skin that is traditionally called ears that are done our heads. So mediators who have this learner spirit do not find it difficult to develop empathic ears for all conflicts and for all parties in conflict. This unique and exclusive tool of the trade of mediation, a pair of good ears, will tell good mediators exactly how the parties are hurting. It will also tell them the roots of the conflict. It will tell them all the options for resolution. It will tell them which options will not work and which options would work, and in what circumstances they will work for all parties. These tiny pairs of good ears on the part of the mediator. As I said, we'll develop this later. I just want to emphasize that in mediation, in good mediation, the emphasis is not on, oh, let us sign an agreement so that people can be bound. No. The opposite is the case. What we'll do is let us do a good mediation so that the outcome may have the unwritten signature, unwritten, on a fixed seal of the parties. And this is should be at least easier for a situation where parties are just ordinary human beings as opposed to corporations. But even with corporations, I mean, if you do a good mediation, it should not be too concerned about the enforceability of what they agree to at the end of the day. So good mediators, this is my very strong opinion. Good mediators do not worry about the enforceability of the agreement. They are more concerned about doing a thorough mediation. And I've explained, and I'll explain more what a thorough mediation is. But for now, let's just know that for mediators, the tool of our trade is our ear or ears, especially when we turn them, as we learn to do very soon, when we turn them to empathic ears. I think we can stop here for today. I hope you've learned one or two skills, enhanced one or two skills that you already have. We'll continue in lecture 28. And we'll begin a new discussion then, which is what I mentioned in the first lecture, in lecture 1 of this series, my 10-step mediation, one of the 2 inputs I've tried to bring into the process of mediation and amicable settlement. So that will be tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day. Thanks again, and we'll advise that you send in comments, critiques, questions. We'll have time to look at your questions and discuss your views, opinions, suggestions. We'll have plenty of time to look at them. For now, if you've not been part of the lecture previously, or you missed any of the previous 26 lectures, please, you can get access to them on YouTube. So please find them and listen to them and make your comments. And please also subscribe to this lecture series. And of course, if you want a copy of the textbook for the reading for this lecture series, you can get them. You can get it easily on Amazon, both in soft copy and in hard copy. Once again.